All right, today we're doing a hybrid wash using the foam cannon and rinseless wash on this Jeep. She got this from a dealer recently, and there seems to be like a film on top of here. So we are going to put a couple ounces, probably like 3 or 4 ounces of power soap into the foam cannon. That's a perfect measurement. And then to get rid of the film, whatever that is, we're going to take a little bit of all-purpose cleaner concentrate, put like just a touch in there. That's probably maybe a capful and a half. We'll just shake this up. I forget every time that we have to start with the wheels. You don't have to, but I like to. So we're going to take our Metal X, get a couple sprays on each tire. Can you go around with that and spray it on the other side? And then in here, we have all-purpose cleaner diluted about 30 or 60 to 1. We're just going to spray that on top, a light mist on top of the iron remover, or the Metal X. And then we're also going to do like the bottom few inches of the panel. Then we'll take our pressure washer, pressure wash it off. You can see it's working. A little bit of purple on the ground. That's how you know the Metal X is getting iron fallout off of them. And now you can inspect your rims, see if they are still dirty, and if you want to go ahead and spray the all-purpose cleaner on them again, either out of a pump sprayer from your concentrate or out of the pre-diluted bottles, 10 or 15 to 1. But if you want to spray it on there, use a flag tip brush and just scrub out everything. You know, do the rims first and then tires after, so you don't take the grime from the tires and scratch your rims. This was just cleaned about a week ago. So the all-purpose cleaner plus iron remover got probably 95%. I can't feel anything on here, and I don't see anything. So I'm happy with that clean. She is too. So we're going to call that a touchless wheel cleaning. And then we're going to go around the vehicle now, and we're going to foam cannon it, the whole thing, top to bottom, using the power soap and the all-purpose cleaner concentrate in the foam cannon. Make sure to always close the sunroof. You don't want to deal with that, especially on a customer's vehicle. There you go. You want to start from that back corner over there so the hose doesn't get tangled? Yeah. All right, now the whole car is foamed down. It's dwelled for about a minute or two, maybe a little bit longer. We're going to go ahead and rinse the whole thing off now, top to bottom. I'm going to have you take this. I'm going to have you go around the whole car, pump spraying it, top to bottom. In here, I have rinseless wash, 256 to 1. And then I also have rinseless wash plus a little bit of overspray from the power soap in the bucket, 256 to 1. And we're going to do a contact wash using microfiber cloths and this for the all parts. So you can go ahead and take that. I'm going to get rid of some of the water. Yes, put it nice and thick. You look right. All right, well, she's spraying that. I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm just going to take this so I can do the roof. All right, so you're going to take a cloth, dunk it in the bucket, squish it around so it absorbs all the rinseless.
Yep.
And then hold the four corners that are loose and just do one panel at a time. So like this whole thing would be a panel. Then once you do that panel, flip it over to the other side. Don't rinse it out.
Okay.
Put it back in there so it gets nice and wet. Yep. So you go ahead and just leave the cloth nice, like dripping. You can wring it out just a tiny little bit so it's barely dripping. And then we're just going to do top to bottom using one side of that, the cloth, because it has 8 sides now because we folded it. Let's go back and forth motions front to back in the way the vehicle goes. That way, if there's already a scratch here from driving, if you put another scratch into it, it blends in more, which realistically, as long as you're not pressing really hard and you have rinseless wash on there, you're not going to scratch it. You can see the water still sitting very flat on the paint, and that's because this car really needs a decontamination and probably a light polish at least. This car was purchased from a dealer, so they're not going to use the best chemicals or treat them the best, and who knows who had it before them and what they used on it. Now we're just going to dry it off. Just going to use a nice drying towel. I am going to use a drying aid because it's sitting so flat on the paint. For a drying aid, I'm going to use spray on ceramic. So in order to do that, I'll just do a couple light sprays on the panel and just start drying right in that area. And that will help the cloth absorb all the water that's on the surface. And this will also kind of hybrid seal the paint also. If you didn't ruin your drying towels like I did, they will dry a lot better than this. So again, a good drying towel would be this one from the Rag Company. And then when you go to wash it, use Tide Free and Clear or Rags to Riches from the Rag Company and dry them on air fluff. It's probably going to take a few cycles. Ask me how I know that. So just take the layer, start on that front corner, please. So lights cross that and then lights are drying. Rinseless wash usually adds a pretty good layer of hydrophobic protection, which in this case it's not really showing that, and that's just because the condition of the paint on this vehicle, it's very grabby. It's not super slick. It is a little bit now because we did put spray on ceramic and rinseless wash on it, but before it was just seen better days. Oh, right. You look at it? You do it right. You got that one, Joe? Think so? Yeah, I need to find out. What? I mean, I like it. There's just things about it. I'm just like, what? Like, what's this like that? It is. I like everything. I like the film. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's very wet in the garage. Still dry. Where do you want this? Where do you want it? All right, now tire shine. Now we can just real quick add some tire shine. All right, whole car has been cleaned using the hybrid method between rinseless wash and power soap. Now, you don't want to do rinseless wash when the car is super dirty. That's why we came in with the pre-foam using the power soap and all-purpose cleaner. And that did, for the most part, get, I think, everything. All the residue that was on the vehicle is all off now because the all-purpose cleaner is a light degreaser, so it got rid of all of that. Touched up the tires real quick with that. Didn't even have to touch them. It's all clean. Yeah, all done.